Alright, gamers, sci-fi nerds, and anyone who accidentally clicked on this video, let's talk Halo. Whether you're a die-hard fan or just curious, there's a lot to unpack here. Specifically, let's talk about the Paramount Plus TV show that dared to bring everyone's favorite genetically modified super soldier to the small screen. Yes, we're talking about Master Chief, the iconic figure who has been the face of the Halo franchise for years. Expectations? Higher than a Spartan on a jetpack. Fans have been waiting for this adaptation for what feels like eons, and the anticipation was palpable. Disappointment? Let's just say the internet had a lot to say. From Reddit threads to YouTube reviews, the reactions were mixed, to put it mildly. Some fans felt the show didn't quite capture the essence of the games, while others appreciated the new direction. For the uninitiated, seriously, where have you been? The Halo franchise boasts a legacy built on first-person shooters, epic alien battles, and enough lore to make Tolkien jealous. It's a universe rich with history, characters, and epic confrontations. Turning that into a live-action series? It's like trying to fit a scarab into a studio apartment. Ambitious, to say the least. The scale and scope of Halo are massive, and translating that to TV is no small feat. But hey, every hero needs a challenge, right? And the creators certainly had their work cut out for them, balancing fan expectations with the realities of television production. So Paramount Plus geared up, grabbed some energy swords, and jumped headfirst into the unknown. They assembled a team of writers, directors, and actors to bring this beloved universe to life. Did they stick the landing? Well, that's what we're here to discuss. The series had its highs and lows, and opinions are divided. Buckle up, Spartans, because this ride is about to get bumpy. We're diving deep into the world of Halo, examining what worked, what didn't, and what it means for the future of the franchise. Season 1 of Halo landed in 2022 with all the subtlety of a Mac cannon blast. It was a highly anticipated release, with fans eagerly waiting to see how the beloved video game franchise would translate to the small screen. The excitement was palpable, but so was the trepidation. And just like that weapon, it divided fans faster than you can say plasma grenade. Some viewers were thrilled with the new direction, while others felt it strayed too far from the original material. The debates raged on social media, with passionate arguments on both sides. The showrunners, bless their hearts, decided to take some creative liberties with the source material. They aimed to create a fresh narrative that would appeal to both longtime fans and newcomers. This meant reimagining certain aspects of the story and characters. We're talking plot deviations, character changes, and Master Chief showing more emotion than a sentient rock. These changes were bold, to say the least, and not everyone was on board with them. The essence of the game seemed to be lost for some. Remember that whole faceless, voiceless protagonist thing that made Master Chief so iconic? It was a defining trait that added to his mystique and appeal. Yeah, about that. The show decided to peel back the helmet and give us a good look at John 117's Baby Blues, courtesy of actor Pablo Schreiber. This was a controversial move, as it humanized the character in a way that was both refreshing and jarring. On the one hand, it added a layer of humanity to the character. We got to see a more vulnerable side of Master Chief, which added depth to his persona. On the other hand, it felt a little like watching Darth Vader stop mid-chokehold to ask for a hug. The emotional depth was appreciated by some, but it also felt out of place for others who were used to the stoic warrior. And then there was Cortana, the AI companion who had been a constant presence in the games. Look, Jen Taylor has been the voice of Cortana for years, and her portrayal is iconic. Hearing anyone else voice our favorite AI companion felt wrong. It was like a piece of the puzzle was missing, and the new voice just didn't fit. Hearing anyone else voice our favorite AI companion felt wrong. It was like a piece of the puzzle was missing, and the new voice just didn't fit. The emotional connection that fans had with Cortana was disrupted, like finding out your grandma's famous cookies were actually store-bought. It was a betrayal of sorts, a deviation from what we held dear. It's the principle of the thing, you know? Fans invest in these characters and stories, and any significant change can feel like a personal affront. The show had its moments, but it also had its fair share of disappointments. The changes weren't limited to just Master Chief and Cortana either. the entire storyline took a hard left turn from the established Halo canon. We're talking alternate timelines, new characters, and plot points that had fans scratching their heads harder than a grunt trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. Look, I get it. Adapting a beloved video game franchise for TV is no walk in the park. You got to appeal to a broader audience, create original content, blah blah blah. But there's a fine line between inspired by and completely ignoring the source material. And Season 1 of Halo? Well, let's just say it danced all over that line like a drunken hunter at a Covenant rave. After the, shall we say, mixed reception to Season 1, which left fans divided and critics unimpressed, the pressure was on for Season 2 to deliver something more compelling and true to the source material. And, to their credit, the showrunners seem to have listened to the very vocal feedback from fans. They took the criticisms to heart and made some significant changes. Season 2 felt more focused, more in line with the Halo universe we know and love. The story found its footing, weaving in elements that longtime fans would recognize and appreciate. The action sequences were bigger and badder, with more intricate choreography and higher stakes. And even Cortana 2.0 started to grow on us, a little. Her character development added depth to the narrative. Even Rotten Tomatoes, that fickle mistress of online reviews, which can make or break a show, seemed to approve. Season 2 boasts a significantly higher score than its predecessor, reflecting a more positive reception from both critics and audiences, suggesting that the show might actually be on the right track. Of course, it's still too early to tell if Halo will ever fully win over the skeptics. The franchise has a lot of history and expectations to live up to, but hey, at least they're heading in the right direction. With continued effort and attention to what fans want, there's hope that future seasons will continue this upward trend.
From Spartan rage to measured praise. The critics weigh in. Critics, those professional opinion havers, were just as divided as the fans. Some praised the show's ambition, its stunning visuals, and its attempts to explore the human side of the Spartan program. Others, however, weren't so forgiving. They called out the deviations from the source material, the sometimes clunky dialogue, and the overall feeling that the show was trying too hard to be something it wasn't. Look, you can't please everyone, and when you're dealing with a fandom as passionate as Halo's, you're bound to ruffle some feathers. The important thing is that the show sparked a conversation. It got people talking, debating, and yes, even yelling at each other on the internet. And in the world of television, that's not always a bad thing.
Here's the thing about video game adaptations. They're often judged by two very different audiences. On the one hand, you have the die-hard fans, the ones who can recite the lore backward and forward, who have spent countless hours exploring every nook and cranny of the game world. And then you have the casual viewers, the ones who maybe saw the trailer and thought, hey, that looks cool. For casual viewers, Halo was probably a perfectly enjoyable sci-fi show. It had spaceships, aliens, explosions, all the ingredients for a fun Friday night binge watch. They weren't bothered by the deviations from the source material because, well, they weren't familiar with the source material in the first place.
Die-hard fans, on the other hand, had a very different experience. For them, the Halo TV show was like watching a beloved childhood pet get stuffed and mounted on the wall. It looked kind of like the original, but something just felt off. The changes to the lore felt like a personal attack. The new characters felt like intruders, and don't even get them started on Master Chief taking off his helmet. Look, I get it. When you love something as much as some people love Halo, you want to see it treated with respect. But sometimes, you have to be willing to accept that adaptations are just that, adaptations. They're not going to be perfect, and they're not always going to live up to your expectations.
Okay, enough about the drama. Let's talk about the fun stuff, the action. Love it or hate it, there's no denying that the Halo TV show knows how to deliver on the spectacle. The special effects are top-notch, the fight choreography is impressive, and the battle sequences are downright epic. From the visceral hand-to-hand combat between Spartans and elites, to the awe-inspiring sight of UNSC ships going toe-to-toe with Covenant cruisers, the show consistently delivers on the visual front. It's like watching a Michael Bay film directed by Ridley Scott, with a dash of James Cameron thrown in for good measure. Beyond the explosions and alien guts, the Halo TV show also attempts to tell a compelling story. It explores themes of humanity, betrayal, and the cost of war. It delves into the psychological toll of the Spartan program, the moral complexities of the conflict with the Covenant, and the struggle to maintain hope in the face of overwhelming odds. Now, I'm not saying the storytelling is always perfect. As I mentioned before, the dialogue can be a little clunky at times, and some of the plot points feel a bit contrived. But overall, the show does a decent job of weaving together a narrative that's both engaging and thought-provoking. So, where does that leave us? Is the Halo TV show a complete disaster? A betrayal of everything the franchise stands for? Or is it a flawed but ultimately entertaining adaptation that manages to capture some of the magic of the games? Honestly, it's probably a bit of both. The show definitely has its problems, and it's unlikely to ever fully win over the die-hard fans who are hoping for a faithful adaptation. But it also has its moments of brilliance, its flashes of inspiration, and its undeniable entertainment value. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to watch the Halo TV show is up to you. If you're a die-hard fan who can't bear to see the source material tampered with, then maybe give it a miss. But if you're a casual viewer looking for a fun, action-packed sci-fi show with a decent story, then you could do a lot worse. Just remember to go in with an open mind, check your expectations at the door, and try not to get too hung up on the details. And who knows, you might just find yourself pleasantly surprised. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go play some Halo Combat Evolved and pretend this whole TV show thing never happened. Subscribe and like this video and leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. Until the next, peace out.